Tennessee, and it is March 31st. The beginning of Holy Week is here, and of course, that means a lot of good things to the world and multiple Catholics and Christians. But also, there comes a point where we reflect at the year and what has happened. And I know it's probably good to keep politics out of Easter, but considering there's both wars in Israel and there are aggressors upon Israel's doorstep, just like the Bible predicted practically every day, it's good to mention that those who are serving the Christian holiday, but also the Jews and the heritage of Jews that are being persecuted right now in Israel, it's always good to send a prayer for them and also ultimately hope that those see the revelation of Jesus Christ. Now, with that said, I want to talk today. Normally, we talk about Cuba and Iran, but China has been brought up a lot lately. And I spoke to a guy from China yesterday. And my first question to him was, what do you think about China and the ban practically of cryptocurrency? So originally I asked him, are they allowed to use Bitcoin, Dogecoin, all the coins in China? And he said that it's forbidden. But in the same breath, I questioned him and asked about the CBDCs that the Chinese government are using. And he was like, oh, he's not denying this guy was not denying that they would use CBDC and the yen that would be essentially deleted after an expiration date. So the Chinese government's working, if you don't know, on a cryptocurrency that is CBDC, which is a centralized digital currency from the government. So it would work like a stimulus check that would be deposited into your bank account after your paycheck, and it would have an expiration date. So everyone knows communists are about control. So they would deposit this money and then give you like 6 months to use it. So you couldn't save and you couldn't build wealth. So if you don't spend it, you lose it. So a lot of the people who are saying it's a good idea on the Chinese side is that, oh, it's going to stimulate the economy because people won't hoard money and they'll spend it because that's its purpose. But any capitalism loving American would say that's nonsense, because the only way you build wealth is to save and invest. And you can't invest this money, you can't save this money. So it's going to be a really interesting time if they ever implement this digital currency. They're trying to be the next world reserve currency, and they're also trying to be the next proponent of capitalism. But you can't be a capitalist society if you have money that disappears or automatically shreds after 6 months, because no one's going to want to invest in your currency if they cannot save and invest it. Everyone knows that even in America, how you be successful is work hard, save money, invest the difference, white picket fence, all that stuff. You can't do that if your money is sitting with an expiration date. So it's really ironic, because when I went to China, there were these implements that I could still buy and sell Bitcoin while I was in China, while I was in Beijing, by using a VPN and Robinhood. So Americans can still access their cryptocurrency, but locals cannot. So if the government shuns every cryptocurrency except their cryptocurrency and then put an expiration date on it, you can see it's nothing but control. But even Cubans that I spoke with back in the day, 2022, were talking about how great China was as a country. Like, no, China had some issues. I think it's part of the propaganda machine that the communist government of Cuba tells Cubans that China is a great country, and they are an ideal place to live and for the world. The communists stick together like this, including Russia. And back to the president's comments that Cuba is next and that he was going to allow the Russian fleet to come in with oil. He knows it's only 10 days worth of oil. It's not going to be a long-term solution. They still cannot buy and sell because, like Rubio said, they don't have money. So the temporary solution, how much will it impact everyday life for Cubans? Well, it'll keep the lights on, but only for 10 days. So it's like an extension. Like, okay, we're gonna actually talk with you, Cuba, and see if you're going to accept our terms, but we don't want your people to die in the process. So we're going to continue to let a little bit of oil in at a time while finalizing these negotiations. And since even the Castros are talking with the United States, and the president of Cuba says that they're at the very beginning of talks, it could take some time before it finalizes. So America's like, okay, a little bit of oil here, a little bit of oil there, but it's not going to make a significant difference. So guys, what do you think about all this? How will you be spending Easter? Do you have anyone involved in the American war conflict with Iran? Do you have anyone involved with the Israeli conflict with Palestine and the rest of the region and Iran? Do you have anyone you know in Cuba? Let me know in the comments, and then we will continue after this. I almost said compliments. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.